And then I'll pick. Hi everyone, welcome to the third episode of Off the Cuff. Now, this time, today, I have a very special guest with me. She's Sky, and she's a reader like me. And she's a very interesting person because she has a very specialized area of work. And because I had promised you all to bring creators from across the world come together on this platform and share their likes and dislikes, Sky here has graciously agreed to do this with me for a small, candid conversation for some very less duration. But yes, I think we're going to enjoy this a lot. So, welcome, Sky, to Off the Cuff.
Hi, thank you. Yes. So
So,
I come to you from the Southwest United States. I love to read. I read a lot of young adult books. Behind me is mostly my Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys collection. This is kind of my
oh my
favorite
God.
bookcase.
Oh, nice. That's so nice. And the way you have arranged them, it's so immaculate, so like spick and span kind of thing. It's like every reader's dream to arrange books either according to titles or colors, but this is like fabulous.
Yeah.
All right, Sky. One way, the pressing question that I have in mind is, what is it to be a paraprofessional in the library?
Okay. So I use the term paraprofessional because it basically what I am is I'm a librarian. I'm a librarian, but I'm not a full librarian. To be a librarian in the United States, you have to have a master's degree from the American Library Association. I do not. So basically, what I do is the same job as a librarian, but I don't have a master's degree in library science.
Do you plan on having or pursuing this course anytime soon, or maybe anytime in future, or do you have other
Um,
plans?
I actually do hope so. I hope to, it's not final yet, but I do hope to start a master's in library science in the fall.
That's nice. How's it like to be surrounded by books all the time? Doesn't it become a little overwhelming to see those stories and the well, because you are a reader, don't you get a little overwhelmed knowing that there are so many more books but so less time to finish reading all of them? Or have you already read all of them?
Oh, no, I haven't read all of them. I wish I could say I have. I don't think I've even read everything in this bookcase behind me. Um, I I actually am not overwhelmed by there being so many stories. I think about the fact that there's about 8 billion people in the world, and I think that each person has at least one story in them.
Mhm. That's so
So
true.
I just think that it's fabulous that a library can be a collection of all of those stories, or at least a sampling of many of those stories.
Yeah, that's a good thought, actually. And speaking of this, the belief that you have that each one has a story, you also, I got to know, and you also told me that you write. What sort of writing do you indulge in?
Yes, when I write, I tend to do about two genres. I do some like books, some stories that are kind of young adult focused, teens and like new adults is tend to be the characters I like to write. I write a lot of like action, a lot of the characters are maybe spies or superheroes. And then I also write some fan fiction as well. So I'll take
That's
my favorite
nice.
characters and give them some new scenarios.
So, has there been a young adult book that you have especially liked and that you would like to read again and again? Because as readers, I think all of us have this fetish, no? If we just fall into that trap and we love something, if you love a book, it's like a guilty pleasure going through the pages again and again. And every single time we open that book, it feels so fresh. So, has there been a good book like this for you?
Hmm. Well, recently it was called Anything by Christina Welsh.
Mhm.
It was an ARC listen, so an advanced listening copy. And I finished the story and I immediately launched right back into it.
I know.
My full review on that one should be coming before too long. I'm a little behind on my reviewing. Um, but that one it was a romance and the main character was struggling with some PTSD and social anxiety from a previous bad relationship. and I actually found it just to be very relatable.
Oh, that's nice. Now, speaking of diving right into a romance, have you ever visualized or imagined yourself, or have you ever found a character so relatable that you wanted to be a part of that book, play that character, and you have a thought that you would have done a better job in replying or maybe possibly sailing through the circumstances that the character was in?
Have I ever found a character and thought, I wish they could do better or be better or make some wiser
Yes.
choices?
I'm asking this question
Absolutely.
because you are also a theater artist. So knowing your means and knowing your ways around theater and acting, has there been an incident where you felt that you could have done a better job? Not only in terms of writing, but maybe just emoting whatever the characters were trying to emote.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in like creating those or not creating, but like in displaying those emotions. Definitely there are moments when I will watch something like on television or in a movie and I'm like, "Oh, that's some bad acting right there." Um I would say like I guess in my when I'm reading a book, I try and kind of picture the characters. I know sometimes then I'll like see something and I'll be like, I don't know that that's how I would have pictured the characters. I don't typically try and put myself like too far into a book character's shoes, but I will admit I get very emotionally attached to a book character.
So are you prejudiced? Like, do you like only men or male characters, or have there been female characters that you get attached to? Like, are you a die-hard romance um, fan? And then do you really get attached to the male characters in the way that they haunt your dreams? Or has there been a female character that you really liked?
Female characters that I really like, I would say I probably would go back to like some of the YA books. Loved Divergent. Trish was a good main character. Loved Hunger Games, Katniss. I, as a hobby, I did archery in high school, so I felt like I could relate to that character. And just, I mean, I would say there's lots of female characters that I love. I would probably say I actually don't read, I probably read two-thirds female leads to one-third male lead.
Um,
So I
Oh,
do tend to go with female characters. Um, I will say when I was young, there weren't a lot of books written with, most characters either didn't have like a definitive race or um they were white. So as I've gotten older, I've tried to search out more books that, are have characters of different races. I especially love it when I can find a character that's multiracial because I'm actually multiracial. So
oh, nice. That's interesting. Okay, apart from this, having a preference in reading, you also seem to like singing. So you are a multi-talented person who has a lot of interests. From where did you get into singing and what sort of singing do you do? I promise I'm not going to ask you to sing.
yeah, okay. So I got into singing, I would say I got into singing through my church. When I was little, when I was like in preschool even, we had a church choir. And we had choirs for all ages. So we had a preschool choir, we had like a kids choir, we had a youth, a teen choir. Um, and I'm not at the church anymore, but I did briefly even do their adult choir. So I um I did singing with the church, with the choirs. I did some when I was in youth, I did some leading worship. These days I've been auditioning for musicals, a lot of community theater in my area. So I
Wow.
sing when I'm doing those as well.
So having this talent to sing, you also write. You are also a theater artist. You are also a reader. You also write. Putting all this together, has there been a skill that you still want to learn, but you haven't got the opportunity or the time yet?
Oh, so many skills. I mean, I would like to get better in languages. I would love to, learn more languages. Um, okay. No, we
Yeah,
didn't
I'm here.
finish.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Also, like I play a few instruments. I play some piano and some guitar. I would love to,
Wow.
continue to get better at that. I also thought it would be really cool to learn the violin.
That's
I
nice.
love the way the violin sounds. So those are some other things I think would be fun to learn more about.
Are you into adventure as well? Like, is there anything related to adventure that gets your heart pumping? Um, like maybe learning scuba or cycling or hiking. Are you into those kind of things as well?
Um, I would say swimming. That's kind of my preferred outdoor activity.
That's
Uh,
nice.
Yeah, it gets pretty hot where I live. The summer, last year we had over 100 days that were above 120 degrees.
Oh my God, yeah.
So we can swim most of the year here.
That's so lovely. But honestly, you're the first person on air with me right now who has so many varied interests, and I think you must be feeling so grateful and blessed that you have this opportunity to pursue all of them. So, but I still have this kind of doubt. How do you manage, or how do you have a set schedule? Do you devote time to each of these activities, or it's just like, is it like on the go? You feel like playing piano, so you go and play piano. How does it work out for you?
It's definitely a little bit of both. There are times when I will like really focus on a discipline. And there are also times when I will, so in March I was running like a March TBR madness, kind of asking people to vote on some of my, books that are in my to be read list. And that was something that I kind of really focused on for the month. And while I was focusing so hard on that, I kind of let my reviews that I was working
Mhm.
on, I didn't post very many reviews last month. And I have quite a few reviews I need to catch up on now. So you kind of just pick and choose. Um, Obviously, I'm committed in my job. I try to be active here, being on, at least 2 to 3 times a week, but most of the time I'm on almost every day. Um, let's see. And like with the singing and the acting, I also kind of just I do that when I can. I try to sing some every day, but there are days when, my singing is like in the car on my way to work.
Oh,
But I do
nice.
try to like have like intentional practice sessions too.
All right, that's nice. So other than these things, like if suppose if I were to ask you your favorite author, is there a favorite author, or do you prefer experimenting and I don't know if you experiment with genres, but then do you experiment with authors as well?
I have been trying to experiment with genres, as well as kind of discover new authors. Some of my favorite authors, I would say, are, Veronica Roth, Marissa Meyer, as well, like Anthony Horowitz is one I really enjoy. I'm trying to think. Ali Carter. I just got
Ah,
approved to
yeah.
read an Ali Carter arc. I'm so
Oh
excited
my
about that
God.
one.
From where do you manage to get ours? Is NetGalley your source, or do you have
Um,
direct connections?
I've been using NetGalley. Yeah.
Oh my God. I think I'll have to. I have an account, but it's lying dormant since a very long time because these physical copies, like you mentioned, no, I think all of the book reviewers always crib about pending deadlines and the number of reviews piling up. So because I'm focusing on this off the cuff right now, I'm not able to review books, and it's just it's all in the pipeline. But
Yeah,
these names that you suggested, I think I'll have to check out because I do love this genre. This young adult fiction is really interesting. All right, I have a last one for you for the day.
sure.
If your life was a YA novel, what would be the title that you would like to give it?
Um, that's a good question. I would probably maybe go with like to be honest, TBH maybe, TBH to be honest. I try to I try to stay real. I try to be honest with myself, be honest with, the people around me, my coworkers, my family, my friends. And I definitely want to um, I want to be someone who, is about who lives with integrity and people can, come to because they kind of trust that I'll give you not just an opinion, but a insightful and honest opinion.
Yeah, I think one of the greatest soft skills that everyone should have to learn to hold space for others and be mature enough to listen or lend a listening ear. Oh, well, that's been fabulous. And it was nice seeing you. And you are lovely. And I'm especially inspired by the multiple talents that you hold and the kind of time and grit with which you focus your energies on all these endeavors that you have taken upon. So thank you, Sky. Thank you so much. And you have a beautiful name, by the way. So
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope we catch up again sometime about book recommendations and book reviews.
Thank you for having me. It was lovely meeting you today.
All right, then. Thank you so much, and you have a good time. Bye bye.
You too. Have a great day.